Ephesians 6:10 through 18 tells us about the armor of God. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on your full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand. Stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. What he's talking about is that we are to put on the full armor of God. We are not to just wear parts of it. It would leave us exposed. And that we are to wear and we are to don the entire armor of God so that we can fight against the evil forces that range against us. James 4:7 tells us that submit yourselves to God, then resist the devil, and he will flee from you. When you don that armor, when you are a representative of Christ, the devil will flee when you invoke his name. Put on the belt of truth around your waist. It's not about being sincere and telling the truth, but the truth comes from the Word, and the Word is God. The Word is Christ. John 17:17 tells us, is the sum total of the truth that is God has revealed in the written Word. The breastplate of righteousness, the breastplate is what covers a soldier from his heart to his lungs and his vital organs. But it's not that. It's not our righteousness that protects us. It's the righteousness of God that protects us. Isaiah 54:17 tells us, no weapon forged against you will prevail. And with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, shoes have two purposes: to protect the bottoms of your feet and to give you firm footing or traction. When we stand firm and we have our shoes fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, we are able to stand under the attacks of the devil because we stand for God. Take up the shield of faith, which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. The shield is our faith. Our shield is our faith, and it not only just protects us, but it protects our people that we love. Soldiers back in the day used to stack their shields together to create a wall to protect each other. So faith will take you where your feet cannot and will protect those around you in addition to yourself. Take the helmet of salvation. Your head is your control center. It is where all your knowledge is stored. But your knowledge of your salvation is what protects you, because you know exactly where you're going because of who he is and his promises for your life. The sword of the Spirit, which is the word. Now, this is amazing because the sword is the word, and it's the only weapon that's available to us. And we all know that with a sword is a close range combat. It's up front, it's close, get dirty, and we are to use it in a precise manner. And lastly, it talks about prayer. Pray without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 tells us to pray without ceasing. Prayer is your unseen weapon. There is no defense to prayer. Also, prayer is an expression of your dependence and trust. We need to be praying for everyone, our country, our pastors, our law enforcement, our firemen, our public servants, our president, whoever gets elected. Stay in prayer. God bless you.